Welcome students. This video is based on the question answers of the first chapter of biology, that is the cell, the fundamental unit of life. We will discuss all the question answers given in the NCERT book, the in-text questions as well as the exercise question. So let's start. The very first question given is, who discovered the cell and how? You have to name here the scientists who discovered the cell and the process. You know about that, you have studied in class 8. So you will name the scientist and the process, how he discovered the cell, in which plant part he saw the cell, and what was the instrument used by him for that. In the second question, why is the cell called the structural and functional unit of life? Here you will tell about the features of cell which makes it the structural and functional unit of life. All living things are made up of cell. Cell makes up their body as well as performs functions which are actually performed by the organism. So in this answer you will explain how and why cell is the structural unit of life and functional unit of life. The next question is, how do substances like CO2 and water move in and out of the cell? Discuss. Students, here you have to name the process, name the phenomenon through which CO2 and water move in and out of the cell. You have studied about both of them. CO2 is a gas, and what is the process through which gases enter inside the cell? Water is a liquid, so there is another process which helps in movement of water inside and outside the cell. So you will write down about both of them. About CO2 you will name that process and you will define that process, and in water section again you will write down the name of the process and you will explain it. The fourth question is, why is the plasma membrane called a selectively permeable membrane? So it is a feature of plasma membrane which makes it selectively permeable. Selectively means selected, permeable allows or gives permission. So why it is called selectively permeable membrane? How it allows substances to enter inside it, to pass through it. Whether it allows all the substances or it strictly stops the entry of all the substances. How the substances move through plasma membrane, why it is called selectively permeable membrane, you will write down here. The fifth question is fill in the gap type question. There some lines are written and some gaps are there, like nuclear region in prokaryotic is not written, but it is written in eukaryotic that nuclear region is well defined and surrounded by a nuclear membrane. You have to write about nuclear region in prokaryotic. So that is not well defined, poorly defined, nuclear envelope is not present, and you will also write down what it is known as. The nuclear region of a prokaryotic is known as what, you will write down over there. In the fourth of the same fifth question, prokaryotic is membrane bound cell organelles absent. In eukaryotic there is a gap, blank. You will write down whether membrane bounded cell organelles are absent there or present there. The sixth question is, can you name the two organelles we have studied that contain their own genetic material? We have studied about two cell organelles that contain their own genetic material. Genetic material here refers to DNA. So in short, you have to name two genetic materials which contain their two cell organelles which contain their own DNA. One is found in plant cell only, one is found in both plant and animal cell. So you have to write down the name. The next question is, if the organization of a cell is destroyed due to some physical or chemical influence, what will happen? So here you will explain, if organization of cell is destroyed, what will happen? What will happen there? Two conditions would be there. The very first condition, when some problem occurs inside the cell tries to repair itself. A special term is there, so you will explain about that. Cell will try to repair itself. The second phenomenon will take place, that the cell will not be able to perform its function. As its organization is destroyed, how it can perform its regular function? So it will not be able to perform its function, and then the action of lysosome will start. So you will explain about both. The next question, why are lysosomes known as suicidal bags? Lysosomes are special structure present generally in animal cells, and these are known as suicidal bags. So now what makes them suicidal bag? Why these are called suicidal bags? You know that strong digestive enzymes are filled inside the lysosomes. Now what happens in case of starvation and how it destroys the cell, you will explain over here. The next question, where are proteins synthesized inside the cell? You will write down the name of the organelle. There are two organelles. Students often get confused. One organelle is responsible for protein synthesis. It is the smallest organelle of the cell. So it is responsible for protein synthesis. Another organelle, which is a network of membrane, it provides the site for protein synthesis. That is a part of endoplasmic reticulum. So you will clearly mention which organ synthesizes the protein and which organ helps in it. So students, these were your in-text questions. Now let's discuss about your exercise questions. Now let's discuss the exercise question. The very first question, make a comparison and write down ways in which plant cells are different from animal cells. Here you have to simply differentiate between plant cells and animal cells. So make a column, write plant cells one side and animal cells another side, and you will write down the points, the differences between the both. You will differentiate on the basis of its size, its shape, whether it is irregular or fixed, and on the basis of various cell organelles like plastids, lysosomes, centrioles, Golgi complex, etc. You will tell about the rigidity also in both plant cells and animal cells. So in this way you will differentiate between plant cell and animal cell. The second question, how is a prokaryotic cell different from a eukaryotic cell? Here again you will differentiate between a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell on the basis of its size and the type of organism it is found in, like primitive, ancient or modern organisms, advanced organisms. Also you will differentiate on the basis of membrane bounded cell organelles, whether these are present or absent, number or type of chromosome, DNA, size of the cell, etc. So in that manner you will differentiate between a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell. The third question, you have to write down what would happen if the plasma membrane ruptures or breaks down. As you know, plasma membrane is the external membrane. It is the outermost in animal cells and the second layer in plant cells. So what would happen if plasma membrane ruptures or breaks down? The first, it will try to repair itself, and in second case, all the cell organelles will be destroyed or coming out of the cell, and then the function of lysosome starts. So you will explain in both the conditions. The next question goes like, what would happen to the life of a cell if there was no Golgi apparatus? Now just recall the functions of Golgi apparatus. What are its functions? What functions it performs? And obviously, in absence of Golgi apparatus, those functions would not be possible inside the cell. Golgi apparatus is responsible for packaging and modification of proteins. It makes lysosomes. It helps in formation of cell membrane, and in case of plant cell, cell wall also. So these are the functions performed by Golgi apparatus. So now you think what would happen if Golgi apparatus is not inside the cell, and write down it pointwise. The next question is, which organelle is known as the powerhouse of the cell and why? Now you know very well which cell organelle is known as the powerhouse of the cell. So you will write down the name of that cell organelle, and also you will explain why it is called powerhouse. What is the function in which it is involved, and how that function generates power or energy. It is stored in which form and what it is called. So which cell organelle is known as powerhouse of the cell? First you will write down the name of the organelle, and then you will explain why it is called so. The next question is asking, where do the lipids and protein constituting the cell membrane get synthesized? So what are the cell organelles where lipids and proteins are synthesized? So there are two organelles where lipid and proteins are synthesized. One is related with endoplasmic reticulum. Basically both are related with endoplasmic reticulum. One part of endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for formation of lipid, and one part helps in formation of protein. So you will write down the name of the part of endoplasmic reticulum which helps in lipid synthesis, and you will write down the part of endoplasmic reticulum which helps in protein synthesis, and the organelle which is directly responsible for protein synthesis. So you will write down the name of the both. You will also tell how both are together related, how protein synthesizing part is associated with the part which helps in that. The seventh question is, how does an amoeba obtain its food? You have to name the process and also explain the process of food intake mechanism of amoeba. Not only intake, but you will explain how it is digested and waste is excreted out. So you will explain the entire process of food taking in amoeba. You will have to draw the diagram also. The next question is asking, what is osmosis? So you will explain the term osmosis, you will define it, you will give examples, and also you will explain the types of osmosis. What are different types of osmosis, and what is the criteria on which these two types depends. So you will explain everything about osmosis, obviously with the help of diagram and example. So the eighth question, you will explain you will write down about osmosis, its types and its examples, everything. The ninth question is a situational question. You have given a situation to make a 3 potato cups. The first question, explain why water gathers in the hollowed portions of B and C. So, potato cup B is having sugar in it, whereas potato cup C is having salt in it. Since the potato cup B is having sugar and in the external medium water is there. Likewise, in potato cup C, salt is there and external medium is plain water. So, the external medium is hypotonic and water will move from the area of higher concentration to lower concentration. So, water will move from outside to inside. In the second question, why is potato A necessary for this experiment? Potato A is empty. So, why it is important? It is necessary. It is necessary as it is a controlling mechanism. It is for controlling, for knowing that only the amount of water is not sufficient or not necessary for movement. There must be concentration. Since potato A is empty, there is no water inside it and water does not enter inside the cup. In third question, again, why water does not gather in the hollowed out portion of A and D? In A, now you know that since it is not having water, so there is no chance of concentration difference, and that's why water did not enter. The potato cup D is made up of boiled potato, and that's why its semi-permeability of cell membrane is destroyed, and that's why water did not gather inside the potato cup D. So students, these are some explanations of your in-text questions and exercise questions. I have not told the answers or I have not named the terms. You will do it yourselves, but I have given you a brief idea how you will write down the answers. So write down all the answers of this chapter. In the next video, we will start the next chapter. Thank you.